Welcome everyone once again to season 2 of Candid Talks. As you all know, this is a show that talks about the story between Can and Did. There are a lot of us who believe we can do a lot of things. Only a few of us actually go out there, have the courage, go through the pains, and eventually end up doing it. What I always aspire to do on this show is talk to people who have inspired not just me personally, but also are on a journey to challenge themselves and inspire a lot of people in that journey. Who I have today is not only a good friend of mine, someone I knew as a client who eventually turned out to be a friend, but also someone that I have seen take what we call a second generation entrepreneurship to the next level. Now, I remember when I met this person's father about 7 years back, 6 or 7 years back, and his blessings, uh, I believe sentimentally, is what turned a lot of things around positively for me. It's a great honor and privilege to introduce to you Silky Jain Marwah, who's the executive director for the Tulas group in Dehradun, Tulas International School and Tulas Institute of Technology, the engineering college. Silky, welcome to the show. It's thank you for giving me time to begin with.
Thank you, Teja. It's been a pleasure always to interact with you, and I think this is going to be something very different. So far, already you told we've been into a friendship relationship for past 7 years. We've been to business relationship multiple times, and I think now getting interviewed by you, I think I'm really looking forward for this. So thank you so much for inviting me here to your platform.
Silky, thank you. So I have so I'm really doing this on a double-edged sword today, because one, I know you personally, but more importantly, Marwa Saab has been a great friend to me over the years. So I have double pressure that way as well.
So
To welcome.
I am on the same boat. Even I am at the same pressure level. What might you are you feeling? But let's begin this. Yeah.
So, Silky, I've always been curious, and I know whenever I come to Dehradun or whenever we catch up in Gurgaon, it's mostly, talking great ideas, brilliant ideas, and perhaps having fun that I cannot share on this show. But I've been always curious. You are perhaps one of the most awarded executive directors of an educational institute in India, right? I tried listing out a few for the show for your intro, but there were just so many. I said I'll just say you're the most awarded entrepreneur, women entrepreneur to begin with. Now, how easy or difficult was it for you? Because you were really taking over a huge legacy, right? Your father has been, Mr. Jain has been so popular. He has himself received so many awards, right from the Prime Minister to a lot of local awards as well. And he had a lot of fan following within the staff, is what I'm told.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, it is obvious that somebody as young, and you took it up very young as well. And I have seen Tulas transform into this progressive college, right? Compared to any other competition in and around Dehradun, maybe Uttarakhand, if I can say that. How was that journey? How easy or difficult was it for you?
So initially you made me feel very, very awesome and making me realize that how many awards actually have backed up into my kitty. So yes, really, it's an awesome feeling. Okay, I can't express, but yes, it's of course an awesome feeling because an award has always been a realization that how good are you doing things, how good are you doing in your industry, and of course those awards have always made me. Take the challenges and of course keep going. So yes, thank you for the introduction. And as you very well said, my father for me was a celebrity. Okay, being honest, honestly talking about it, and taking he gave me a responsibility which already he was doing, and giving the same responsibility to a young girl at the age of 21 itself sounded like a challenge to me. Okay, a young girl having her dreams, coming from symbiosis, studying fashion, and then given this job of handling the entire empire or otherwise the education world where my father had already built his name. So I wasn't trained about it. I was not told that I had to do this. So it was just like that. I was given this responsibility. I never got this chance of being pampered initially at home or by my family. Or where people or parents ask, "What do you do? What do you want to become in life?" It might sound you different, but yes, to both me and my brother, it came up to as a responsibility without being even knowing that are we good at that job? Will be able to handle this or not? So I think it was pretty difficult, and there is no questions about it. But I think that's what all about I am with my journey for a decade now. I've realized that challenges are the things which thrives me, which keeps me going. Else I wouldn't be happy, because I have learned one thing in life, that if you're happy at work, you're happy in life. So that I learned very very soon in my journey, because I definitely wanted to be into step into the fashion industry, and unfortunately by forceful affair I landed into education. But within a span of a year, I started loving my job, I started loving my team, my faculties, my staff, my students, and it became like an extended family. And gone are the days where people used to say you're given a job and that is why you've not been successful because it was not your choice. I think I've really changed the meaning towards that, because sometimes it's about destiny. Yes, my destiny landed in a silver spoon. And when my dad made me gave that responsibility of an executive director, uh, again I took it as a destiny. Okay, and I did not wanted to say sorry after a point of time and say, oh shit, I failed. So because I knew that my father has a name, he is a self-made man, and same I took it. I also wanted to become a self-made girl.
See, I want to come in here for all my viewers and listeners, right? There is a lot of talk about nepotism in India over the last one and a half year. Silky, directly or indirectly, I've been a part of your journey with Tulas and Tula's journey as well. I have seen you put in 14-hour work days. I've seen you come at 8 o'clock, 8:30 sharp, sometimes even before your staff, right? I've seen you talk to sit in Gurgaon, set up an office, talk to corporates, so that you can bring in more placements for your students, right? I have seen that struggle, and from that perspective, I think your dad didn't make it easy for you, right? I've never seen the moment you took over. Very rarely I saw uncle come into the college, especially maybe on events, right? So I'm sure it wasn't that easy. What are your
So
thoughts on that?
I was waiting for this word N, okay, because since my start of the career, and with me and my brother Ronak, we both have faced this word million trillion times in our lives, that तुम्हें तो सब कुछ सजा के मिला है, and why do you work so
On a
much
silver plate.
on a silver plate? And surprisingly, only the film industry is technically associated with this word nepotism. But I think pan world, in every profession, this word actually lies in. Okay, I somewhere see that there is something called as reverse nepotism also. Okay, and I think that's what I am an example all about. So yes, it was given to me, but it came up with a lot of challenges. A 21-year-old girl entered into an education industry where everyone, you also know, is when people talk like mere baal dhoop mein safed nahi hue hain. So I could feel that vibes coming from everyone in and around me. And because being the daughter of the chairman, so maybe they were not coming straight to me and talking, but of course whatever decisions I was making, it was never being replicated, it was never being taken in a positive shape. So I very soon realized was that okay, it's not going to be as easy as it sounded. And of course my father also did not made it as easy like you said. So I was not given an office, I was not given any position. I started my career learning the clerical jobs, how does a guard behaves, how does hiring happens, why do you require a team, what are the sectors which are important to be associated with. So when I learned all this, of course, then I knew that one day it'll come that people will accept me, and that finally that day started coming in. And it was not, I should say, initial years or something. It almost took 4 to 5 years for me to prove. And it is not just about people here. Even an MBA guy in my college, who was also in my age bracket, could not see me as a ma'am, could not see me as a person from management who can take the right decision for me. So that was also the challenge, to prove them this. Yes, you have not taken a wrong decision in entering into Tulas for your degree. You are in safe hands. But maybe seeing me, they got shaky, that, oh shit, what exactly happened? So luckily my dad did not give me finances in my life very early, and that's what made me thrive in my career fast. And you rightly said, I never took like my extended hours that I'm actually working. I loved it, and I still love doing that. So yes, that's what I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did, and very beautifully at that. In fact, in my sessions, sometimes I often keep talking when I talk about leadership, Silky, right?
Yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar undisputedly is the god of cricket, but he was one of the most terrible captains of India ever, right? So not all great, what the word that you use, my hair hasn't great, or my hair has not great just like that. I've had the experience kind of attitude is great for academic performances, individual performances, but leadership takes a completely different competence, and I think you've built that
And,
really well.
and and I'll add one thing here is that to me, I knew I was a girl, okay, but I was not thinking I was a girl, and I when I entered into the education sector. But unfortunately, I was only looked at like a girl. So it was like there was intimidation, there was some coordination, and people took me lightly. And it was only about she's young, she's female, she's young, she's female. And so my challenges were, first of all, to remove that from their head. I am a young female, accepted, but I'm here for a business. So that took a lot of time for everyone to realize. And I'm talking of 2011, mind it. In fact, 2010. It is not 2020, I'm talking it. So 2010, it's already 10 years from now, 11 years from now. World was not same. World was not that easy. World was not that welcoming. And mind you, I was amongst the few female owner's daughter to actually having stepped in into an education industry, because this might be common for other professions. Even today, I don't see females into my business heading the positions until and unless they're married, I'm telling you. So if I would have entered this education industry after being married, now how to kill the time, let's enter and do something, of course the word nepotism would have suited me perfectly. But it did not happen that way.
I remember we worked together on with, of course, Raj, one of the trips to Germany where we were calling educational institutions all over India, and you were the only woman on the team, and perhaps the youngest on the team as well at that time. I remember that it was
Yes.
5 years back, I think. So you keep talking about people around you, right, Silky? 21 years old is almost like a final year student, right? How did you manage? And academicians tend to have this attitude where they judge the other. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, they judge the other person's knowledge and intelligence based on how many degrees, how many years, right? How did you manage your head of departments in the college? Was that very difficult, or they could see what you had in you?
So basically, Teja, I am a people's person, okay? And I realized that very soon in my life, not by soon in my childhood days or my school days, not like that. Because when I saw that my decisions are not being considered, because maybe I was not a degree holder from what my education institution was giving that courses. So I changed the game, okay, and I started talking about the other side, which is when I see today a human is maybe a 60% of what about his values are, and 40% of what his skills are, or what is he or she is that is a professional life. So talking to HRs, building a relationship, a community, I realized that why not to have that same attitude for me as well. And that's when I started to talk about the human values more. And that totally changed the game, because I cannot sit in my office or in my room and talk about physics, chemistry, maths. Perhaps maybe I also know about it because I'm also a degree holder, but I realize that for that I have people, they are doing it. So what's that X factor I need to drive in? So coming from a city like Pune, that gave me a lot of exposure already. Okay, and Dehradun was considered, of course, the happening city, but not happening like in metropolitan cities are. So I totally thought, first of all, was to work on the human values, that why exactly are you living on this world? What makes up a team? Why is it important to build a team? It is not just about degree, it is not just about individual driving. And secondly, why not to develop that culture which I think we all crave for, be it at home, be it at a professional life, be it in a restaurant while we are eating dinner also. So I simply thought that a beautiful campus with my father has actually built, and why not to utilize it properly? So I started giving that word exposure, which is looks small, but it eventually gives a lot of productivity in a human's life, because even today a company is looking at first how is the person, of course I can train him later, and how exposed he is at his work, so that I can give that responsibility to that man. So yeah, so I think I did a lot of events on campus. I made Tulas the most happening campus in the state. I'm sure you're well aware about calling celebrities, or calling sports people, calling research scholars. So I think that connect. I made the optimum use of social media that time, when I think education industry was not even aware about the medium called social media. And still, because of maybe pandemic, education world has got to know about something called as digitization. But I think in 2012, very early, I realized the need of it. And that's what made my journey very, very easy. To last came into limelight. Because of that, students started becoming happy. Happy quotient was one of the key features. If anybody would come to the campus and randomly would talk to my students, so I think if they were happy, I was happy. Tulas was, of course, given that recognition. So I think giving these three multi directional things into exposure, human values, apart from degree, I think that's what my journey has been.
It has been, and it has been a fantastic one at that, Silky. In fact, you keep mentioning about you coming from the fashion industry, and how you wanted to have a career in the fashion industry. Now, fashion for humans, for brands, is all about looks, is all about, how you dress up, how you present yourself. For an educational institute, I think you've made Tulas already very, very suave and fashionable. You have your library. Oh my God, people just go to their website and check it out. Your library is one of the best I've seen in for any engineering college, right? Very colonial, very wooden, very. It's amazing, right? You have the best of sports.
British looks kind of.
British, yeah, British
Yes.
Irish kind of looks. You engaged with some of the best sports people to get your sports facilities up and running, right? Tulas has one of the best auditoriums that I've been to, right?
Yes, of
Uh,
course.
Tulas boasts about, for me personally, I keep getting invited to so many colleges, Silky. The best hospitality for any guest visiting Dehradun happens at Tulas. Your events are to die for. They're nothing less than award functions. I've been fortunate to be involved with a couple of them. You bring the best of corporates to your college, from the Microsofts to you name it, they have it, right? So I think what else is more fashionable for a college, right? You actually have made Tulas the next progressive. It's very progressive from that perspective. So my question, by the way, I don't want it to be an advertisement for Tulas, but I just can't I just can't help but talk about my admiration for the institute because I've been personally involved with Tulas as well for a long time. But what brought this mindset? Because I know when your father was around, Tulas was a traditional, disciplined institute. Now, suddenly, a 21-year-old girl comes over, takes it over, and this becomes the happening college in Dehradun. What was your mindset though? Why were you trying to do this? What was it, your desperation to showcase that you are in charge now? Or did you have a larger vision that you were trying to implement?
No, so till today also, my vision or my work has never been in the ways that I want to be shown or I want to be showcased or I want to be proved as a good leader. It has never been on the cards. Like I said, I came from a very happening city, and I actually loved my education, not because my college was good, because the environment was so good. So same after talking to my academicians and having that same monotony in the everyday life, I think it's time to change. And like I told you, there was no acceptability for me in the student crowd as well because of coming from the same age group. So I had to think from their perspective. Okay, gradually, or I think it eventually happened that I started to think like a boy into the hostel or a girl into the hostel, how would she or he thinks? Okay, what exactly the boy or girl wants out of this college life? What he wants an identity, he wants a uniqueness, he wants that air to breathe, he wants environment. So why not to get that? Okay, and of course that turned around to be a good side for the college, but eventually it started to realize what pains a college student goes through, because I've personally gone through that pain. I've been a student myself, coming all the way from your hometown, spending your life of degree into a different culture altogether. It is very, very disheartening. It can be heartbreaking. It can lead students to depression. So I really wanted to focus that part of the life, which is about how to involve a student from morning till night, and again he has something to look forward the next morning. So I'll give you a small example. When I had entered this education industry, honestly education industry was like a sinking boat, and we all know about it, the way 2008 recession had hit India, and we did not know how our career is going to be built, how jobs are going to be taken. So I was actually given the charge as a captain when the boat was sinking. So I had to do something new. And when I entered, I saw a environment where boys and girls are treated, what do you say, disequal is the right word. No equality was there, or I think boy mean a boy and girl mean a girl. If there is a cultural event happening, there will be big barricades. Girls will stand here, boys will stand here. In the hostel, the girls cannot wear shorts. They have to even have a pajama which is to the like foot length. And because there are boys on campus, they will see girls with those eyes and everything. And while you're in a mess, the professor can't sit with a, girl student because maybe there is an affair going on. So imagine the state I was actually into, because I was wanting to get that coolness, that exposure, that happy quotient into the student life. And each time I was coming up with an idea, I was being taken aback, because I said, when I gave you the example of an hostel girl, now hostel becomes the home for that girl for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever course she has applied for. And that home, she can stay the way she wants to. Why can't she wear shorts into her own home when she can do that at her home? Maybe she's coming from Andhra Pradesh or Bihar or Nepal. I don't know, because I am a college which is serving students from all the states. Now it is the mentality of the boys which needs to change. So that's what I had to go through a lot of journey where men and women had to be seen from the same angle, because by my experience, my father had never seen me and my brother from different eyes, that Silky has to be raised like a daughter and Ronak has to be raised like a son. Fortunately, I didn't know that what are why do the gender biasness has to be there, because it always began from home. At the age of fifth also, I remember my father saying that if you have to purchase a television, you and Rona can go and do that. I always used to feel that why can't my father do these things. But later on I realized that I was actually being groomed for this world, which he directly never spoke about, but and it helped me so much, today when I meet my girls, I don't give them a lesson about that you are a girl and you should think like a girl, because I have never done that in my profession or in my personal life. I never cribbed about staying on campus at 11:30. Maybe my parents do because of our world, that you have to come from your campus, which is like 22 kilometers away. What will somebody will actually catch hold of your car? Something will happen. But eventually, they also grew. That they also started having that faith in me. And same I tell my students, girls today, that boss, stop looking yourself with a pity face that you're a girl and you should not be nobody can shout at you or nobody can give you a responsibility. Because if you want to compete in the market and you want to fight for your own position like the boys fight, then why should you be looked at that you're a girl?
Right.
So yeah, so I think all these played a very important role while I was getting groomed up, and all thanks to my father, and of course later on to my brother as well. That he also made me or empowered me like this. I'm not giving any credit to my mother here, of course, but all credit goes to her as well, because she made my father's thinking change. She made my brother look like that. And today you also know Ronak, how it is, how he respects women eventually.
In fact, I can tell you one thing. Your struggle, your hard work, and the success at Tulas is definitely not good luck. It's not luck. It's your hard work. But I can definitely tell you one thing: you've been extremely lucky, Silky. That's the men in your life, right? Right from your father. I've seen Ronak so many times. In fact, give more importance than himself, especially around taking decisions. I've seen that wholeheartedly. That Ronak, the first thing he says is, "आपने दीदी को बताया? Have you told Silky this first? I like it, but have you told Silky this?" And I see the same with Pratik as well. So that way, I think you've been blessed with the men in your life who are all very, very progressive. But
I think I am really blessed. And I think the reason behind my happiness, my success, my carefree attitude has been because of my all three men, which play a equal important role in my life, starting from my upbringing to my friendship role with my brother, and now marital status with my husband. Like, how are we staying? So I think yes, I think men plays a very very important part in any female's life.
what is amazing for me to see is Ronak is doing a fantastic job with the school as well, right? Someday I hopefully will get to interview him as well. But I think the camaraderie, the friendship, the love between two directors of two very well established institutions professionally also, I think is very very nice to see. It's so well done. नजर ना लगे आप दोनों को. Good luck on that.
Thank you, thank you. Again, a story to tell you here. I was, of course, telling about my journey being 21. Ronak is no less. I think to me, things happened when I came down to Dehradun, and then my father said, "Okay, you have to do this." He was in London, just completing his MBA, giving his last examination, and he was already given the post of a vice president even before he was landing here, even before he had landed here, sorry. And imagine his state of affairs, that just finish your dissertation, maybe now it's time to have a gala time in the beautiful hills or the mountains or the like what happening life of London. But no, he was on the very third day from his examination, he landed in India with a vice president tag, and he said, "Oh God." And beautifully he's also taken those challenges. And I think because of our bond, which you right now mentioned, that two different directors taking different responsibilities, acting as competitors, but still at the end of the day we are friends, we take each other's advice, we run this journey together. It has all happened because that trust was very important amongst each other. That value system was very, very important. We both know that how important we are to each other. And I think all the humans living in this world today should also take this up, that brothers or sisters, touchwood, are itself such a good bond that they don't need any friendship. They don't need any friendship. It's just the way you have to take your hand ahead to them and say, "I'm here, I'm here."
Very nice, and God bless you both, all the three of you for that, and hope it continues. I do have one curious question though, because I know Pratik keeps talking about this. What are you getting into? I know something is building up, something is cooking. What's your next venture, Silky? Talk to us about it.
Okay, so if you remember, I initially already spoke to you that I also wanted to be a self-made person, okay? And unfortunately, that tag of nepotism or the second entrepreneur always followed me wherever I go. So I think I got a chance to speak out my heart with my husband, of course, who is Pratik and who already is into the startup world for more than 5, 6 years now. And I think who better to get entered into this industry? So yes, I am entering this the world of startups now, and soon you will find me with a new brand called as Netpuppys. We are hoping to launch it on 1st of April. So yes, along with an education entrepreneur, now I will be also something founder for into the startup world. So this Netpuppys is all about digitizations. Okay, so how a shopkeeper, because we are seeing today that many people are doing online sales, right? And where they do not have their website, they do not have their medium right, they do not know how does the digital marketing happen. So I think there the Netpuppys is going to play a vital role, getting them on board with their own pages online where the people can shop, they can display their products beautifully. It will be a channelized way. Secondly, a big problem which has been faced by maximum of us is that when you're running a new business, finances play a very, very key role. And when you do not know, you've not been from a commerce background, how do you solve this commerce problem? You're only running behind CAs, maybe he's guiding you right, wrong, you don't know. So now Netpuppys will come with you for the invoicing stuff, GST stuff, money lending, which is going to be one of the biggest USPs of this product. Of course, it's going to come in the later stages, but yes, so invoicing is going to be very, very easy now. And all the input credits of GST can be taken care by Netpuppys. And thirdly, of course, what I was talking about, marketing is very, very important in today's time. Earlier it was print media, hoardings. Now it is about social media, digital marketing, Google AdWords. So I think we're going to make life a little easier for people who have first digitized themselves, learned accounting. So now, what next? It's about digital marketing. So that's what we are coming up with.
Fantastic. So for all my viewers and listeners, there are a lot of companies who are claiming Atmanirbhar, go vocal for local and all of that, but really for their own selfish sales. Net Puppies, I personally knew about this. I asked this question for all my listeners. Net Puppies is going to be the one company that will enable small, medium, large businesses in India to really be Atmanirbhar, to so the Netpuppies will be one platform that can truly use the hashtag go vocal for local. So that's something, and I'm sure I'll do an interview with you and Pratik soon when we
Looking
launch
forward for that. I don't
Netpuppies.
know, not in recent times. Let us work first.
I already bragged, Pratik, that I probably will give all my companies. So you better talk to me with respect because I'll be the client
For it.
for a change. I've been a vendor to
Tulas.
Tula
Yeah.
some years back. I think the
The
tables
roles
will
will the
change now,
roles
so
will
time for a
reverse, the
revenge.
talks will be different.
Absolutely. But thank you, Silky. I think I remember I'm sure you don't remember Pratik, I think well. We were all walking in Masuri Mall Road, and I think Pratik or somebody made a comment that Tulas has the best marketing team, and I think it was Pratik who just said, I think Silky, it's about time you make this a business for other colleges. And at that time, and this was 6 years back or 5 years back, and at that time you said, yeah, I have just too much to handle the college right now. So words wishes do come true, right? I mean, so I'm happy that you both are doing this. I'm very excited. I still think it's a great
Thank you
idea.
so much.
I still know Tulas is still doing an amazing job in spite of the pandemic. So good luck to that, Silky. Thank you for giving your time today on the show. Always a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, I'll meet you soon in Delhi, and we'll have our, and hopefully Ronak will join as well, because when the four of us are there
We have
together,
a
I
good
think
team and a good party happens.
yeah, yeah. So I my parents also watch this show, so I'll just top it with that. So thank you,
Thank
Silky.
you,
Thank you
Teja.
for
Thank you
giving me
so
your
much
time.
once again. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And I think I also give you good luck for whatever new ventures you are coming up with. And this platform really is one thing I was looking forward to come for a long time. And you finally made that happen. And thank you again for inviting me and for the beautiful questions, knowing about my journey. I think I've never spoken about my journey so far. It's been a decade in this industry. I think you're the first person being a friend and now getting me into even interviewing me and letting my heart out. I think that's a big day for me. And thank you. Thank you so much.
The pleasure and the privilege has been mine, Silky.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Okay, bye bye. Take care.